Does Crash Bandicoot 3 warps still hold up today? We all know Crash Bandicoot, the lovable PlayStation mascot back in the 90s to rival those like Mario from Nintendo. Crash had a 3-game trilogy on the PS1 which people today look back on to be some of the greatest games of its time period. I was late on the Crash game as I wasn't born until late 2002, however I grew up on games like Tag Team Racing and Crash to insanity. My dad used to own copies of the older games though, as he was a fan of Crash, and thus brings us to today's video. Crash Warped was one of my favorite games out of the original trilogy, so I wanted to see if it will still hold up to today's standards. So, let's set some ground rules here. I will only be covering the first area of the game, from level 1 to Tiny Tiger's boss fight, as I am a strong believer that if you can't keep someone hooked until the first boss fight, then the game isn't going to be worth the time and effort to continue playing to completion. I will also be using the Insane Trilogy as it looks nicer, and it's more likely that newer people to the game will be getting the newer version because it looks nicer and it controls a little better. So let's go ahead and hop right into the first level of the game. Oh, yeah, there is an intro scene. Man, the PS1 was so ahead of its time. Here's the rundown. Ship crash, Uka Uka is free and wants to kill Cortex. They meet Scary Time Man to track down crystals and other times to rule the world. Crash is yo-yoing and then shits himself as he runs right into the door. Story time by the fire, and then we are in the teleporter room because he just knows, and then we get ready to hop into the first level. The first level is this medieval time fairy tale themed level with unqualified knights, goats that seem like they haven't taken a shit in months, and a frog that will launch itself onto you with less consent than a fucking Weinstein. Oh, no, they are human. It's kinda hot, not gonna lie. Running as a classic Crash formula, the first level is the basics of a tutorial, with some minor platforming, belly flopping, an easy bonus stage, crates that switch in between what type they are, and of course some easy enemies to get your feel of the game going forward. The level isn't too challenging and is a nice way to introduce new people to the game with some simple and basic ideas on how the game works. Break out the boxes and grab the gem and crystal in the level to progress forward. The second level is a water level. You swim around breaking boxes that are in the open or hiding behind reefs that can be broken with the underwater spin move, or my favorite part of the level, getting into the sea scooter with missile launchers that attach to it. Water levels I would normally hate in platformer games as they can be tricky and controls can be stiff. So believe me when I say this is well done. Crash moves smoothly underwater and the missile launchers can be a bit funky, but it is a nice touch to add something more to the level. Dodging the sea creatures is pretty simple as well, as you just need to not touch the eel or the pufferfish and spin attack the sharks while avoiding landmines. All in all, the level is a nice change of pace and doesn't affect how the rest of the game is set. Third level in the game is the first time we play as Coco, and it is an animal riding level. We get to ride Purah, the little tiger cub who is 100% the most adorable animal in the franchise. You get to ride her as you are running across the Great Wall of China being built. I will say the controls are kind of stiff but manageable to control, and you just get to run across the wall dodging enemies and doing some minor platforming until you grab the crystal and do a big leap onto the platform. Thus we say goodbye to Puma as we get ready for the next level. God damn it, I missed 5 boxes. This is a chase level. You must run towards the screen away from the Triceratops that will stomp on you if you aren't quick enough, whilst dodging lava and pterodactyls that will scoop you up and grab you if you touch them. Are you taking a fucking break up there? After some chasing, you go into a normal Crash level with some boxes to break and weird men in the mud ready to kidnap you. Once you get through the platforming and slightly more brain challenging bonus level, you must run away from the Triceratops once again to run to the end of the level without getting pancaked. Pretty fun and challenging if you ask me. The last level we have here is a vehicle level. Oh, this level would be perfectly fine in the original PS1 game, but it's too stiff and way harder to control in the Insane Trilogy version. You can better control how your steering is when you are moving at a higher speed and you need to jump over ramps to break boxes and grab the crystal at the end. This level should be the most fun part of the game, but was turned into a nightmare whenever they decided to remaster it. Don't even get me started on Crash's bike levels. This is easily the worst part of the first area in the game, which really sucks as underwater they have it nice and fun whilst above water they make it like hell. I think those two are backwards. Once you complete all the levels in that area, all the buttons disappear and you are left with one button. The button that takes you to the Colosseum, where you take on your first boss, Tiny Tiger. You will have to dodge him as he will jump around and attempt to land his pitchfork in your meaty skull. He will get stuck on the ground once he misses you, and you will have to spin attack him and start the next phase, which has him send out an army of lions to attack you. Why are they lions and not tigers? I have no fucking idea. Hit him 3 times and he will be defeated, and drop the super belly flop power up. You will get power-ups throughout the entire game after defeating bosses. So that's it. The first area of the game is complete, and even though I had some minor complaints with the game, and a massive one as well, I had a fun time with this game. So I finally answered the question, does Crash Bandicoot 3 Warp still hold up today? I believe with everything in my mind that this game kept me hooked the whole way through. So my answer is yes.